All right, so this video is going to be all things leads. We're going to have a look at how to capture them and where to put the information. We'll have a look at how the lead kind of connects to other parts of Build Exact. We'll have a look at how you can do this via your phone on the onsite app, and just some tips and tricks along the way. So I'm starting with this diagram, and the reason for putting this first is new users often confuse the client and the lead and kind of the different jobs that each one serves. So in my mind, a lead is an opportunity for work, and it's entirely possible that a client would have multiple leads in the case that you do a bathroom for someone and then a kitchen. Each of those would be a separate lead, but tied back to the same client. And the reason that's important is a lead will ultimately turn into an estimate, and you could have multiple estimates, but that's a bit of a side point. Each lead will become an estimate and a job, and because of this, it's important that each lead is unique to the opportunity that you have with that client. Now, going to my Build Exact account here, I'm in the leads section and I'm going capture new lead. You can have this lead be an individual or a business. I'm going to do individual. And if I go down further to the point of repeat clients, if I type this in, it's going to try and suggest existing clients, which are coming from this client's area, just in case it is repeat work. If it's not, type in whatever you need to. Note that it says family name here. I personally just put in kind of whatever I need. So if it's, Dan and Sarah or the Smith family, all of that in my mind is fine. So I'm going to say my client, put in some basic info about them. A common question here is why can I only put one primary contact? And the answer is we need this main person to send emails to. Once the lead is created, if you want to have multiple primary contacts, that's fine. It could be a husband, wife, or could even be another family member, etc. It's completely fine to have multiple contacts once the lead is created. So I'll put this in here. Awesome, save and close. And from here, we're going to look at the main parts of the lead, what they all kind of do. So I'll go through each of these in order. First thing, lead details. All of this is, a lot of this is automatically created. The stage is to track how this lead is progressing. And in fact, the easiest way to see this is if I say qualifying and go back to my leads list, you can see it kind of groups them. So if I have a lot of leads, I can separate them into qualifying, quoting, one lost, etc. It also gives me a really good idea of, of all the leads I get, kind of what portion of those go through and become one jobs. Source, really just how the client found out about you. And as we touched on in a previous video, these can be changed via the My Business section. On the right-hand side, there's some basic info, kitchen reno, etc. And budget. So this is if the client has kind of indicated the budget. Hey, I want to keep under 40K, that kind of thing. I would put that there. Start date, like budget, is optional. If the client's gone, hey, this needs to be started by November because we want it done by Christmas or what have you, absolutely put that here because that is important stuff to know. Address. So let's just say Main Street, Croydon. It'll go through the Google Maps for that. A little side point here is if the address is like lot 555 and it's a new development, Google has no idea about that. Ultimately, whatever you put in here is what we use. So even if you put lot 555 and Google doesn't know about it, leave it there. We're going to use that full information, and Google just will have a more general sense of where it is. Going on down, other things that I find useful are leads and notes. Leads, particularly if you are kind of forgetful like me, I like to have a record of what was my impression of someone, what did we talk about, what did they kind of mention they were interested in. The notes are just for you, so we get stuff like, amazing client, would work for over and over and over, or, stay away from this person, we don't want this job. Whatever you want, it's just to remind yourself. Documents, likewise, this is just whatever they present to you at this point. It's just a place to store it. Now, Client Portal, I'm going to mention this and then keep moving because there's a whole other video on the Client Portal. The Client Portal allows you to share stuff to, as it sounds, a portal for the client. When I'm kind of teaching people about BuildXact and starting them up, the Client Portal is one of the last things I do, because if you haven't mastered estimates and jobs, there's not really much to share to the client. And hence, early days, I'd probably skip over this one. And as mentioned, there's a whole separate video for when it does become time to start using it. Now, final point here is I mentioned you can do this on your phone. So specific plans, not all of them, will have access to the Onsite app. And if you have the Onsite app, when you log into it, there'll be a lead section which has all the same information. The main reason I mention this is if you're driving around, you're on, doing client meet and greets all day, it's often easier to do this kind of first step on your phone versus your computer. Awesome. As always, any questions, let us know.